This morning, we're going to talk about your motivation in a sense. Early on in my career, I used to get frustrated because people just wouldn't do the things needed to get done to be healthy. But as I've gotten older, I've had kids, I have a job, and I get involved in life things. I realize what the challenge is. I get it now, absolutely, 100%. I pulled this stat, and this is going to be the jumping off point for us today into that motivation, right? It's my job to hold you guys accountable and to try to motivate and inspire. Obviously, I can lead a horse to water, can't make you drink. So how do we get time in our day? How do we get disciplined in order to effectively impact our fitness, our balance? All right, so here we go. The percent of people falling increases from 40 to 65 to 82% with each decade after the age of 65. So you're looking at 65, we're at 40%. At 75, you're at 65%. And at 85, you're at 82%. We're going to dig into this a little bit. The consequences of falls can be substantial. We know that. Between 12 and 67%, I know that's a huge gap. 12 and 67% of elderly adults who fracture a hip die within 1 year. The reason that gap is so large is because I'm suspecting they're correlating that 65 to that 85 age range, right? So I'm assuming that if you break a hip at 65, you've probably got a 12% chance of dying within a year, but that is a huge jump in 20 years. If you break a hip at 85, there's a 67% chance of you dying. That is huge. So here's the deal. I'm working with a lady. I've been working with her for 10 years on a one-on-one basis. And probably 8 years ago, we've been together 2 years, meeting 3 times a week. I usually don't do that, but she just said to me one day, I don't want to work out anymore. I said, oh, okay, well, let me set you up, which is good. That's my job. My job is to build a repertoire of exercises for you that you can do, that you're efficient, that are effective, give you that knowledge, I go. On to the next, right? That's how you change the world. So I said, okay, well, let me set you up. This is perfect. This will work. I hate to lose you. I'm going to miss you, da-da-da-da. And she goes, no, I want you to come. I just don't want to work out anymore. And I said, well, what are we going to do? And she goes, well, can we ride bikes? And I thought, okay, let's ride bikes. Let me get you moving. Now, knowing what I know, I wanted to see how far this went, where this went. After about a month of riding bikes 3 times a week, I said to her, and I said, hey, listen, this doesn't feel right. I'm just taking your money. And she goes, well, not really, because if you don't come, I'm not going to do it. And I have grandkids that I want to be available for. And so I need you to charge me. I have the money. You have the time. Let's get together and continue. So this was 8 years ago. So I said, okay, here's the deal. Here's what we're going to do. Biking is great. We'll sprinkle it in every once in a while, but really what we need to do is walk, because walk is a load-bearing exercise. It can be cardiovascular, it can be aerobic. So let's walk. And so we have been walking for the last 8 years. We set goals, right? We set pace goals, how fast we walk. We set distance goals. And so my challenge to you with those statistics, walking, can we not walk 1 mile? Can we not walk 1 mile every other day? Realistically, it only takes 1% of your time in a week. There's 10,080 minutes in a week. If you took 2 hours, 30 minutes, 4 days a week, I'm not even asking for that. That's less than 1% of your time. Less than 1%. And so if we can correlate these statistics to your time, which is money, has value, then what you're looking at is that value then for you, that investment in turn is independence, it's family time, it's social time, it's hobby time, right? And it's more time for you to live these years independent, mobile, right? And enjoying a really good quality life. All right? Does that make sense? Do you feel motivated?
I have the hardest time getting motivated to walk. Honestly, I used to do it, but I don't know, I'm not a morning person.
Okay.
I'm not a morning person. I mean, to get me here at 9 o'clock is a real achievement. And I suppose the best time for me to walk would be evening.
Yeah.
I would think so, because, I mean, I don't want to get out of bed until 8.
So right. That's not uncommon, right? I deal with a lot of folks that are not morning people. I deal with a lot of folks that are. But I think the biggest challenge is looking at walking as a chore. So what if you pick the destination? Or if you're going shopping, what if you parked your car out away in the parking lot a good distance from the front door? So it's all these little things that you don't really think about. Because when you say walk, the first thing I think of, I don't know about you guys, but when you say walk, the first thing I think of is a track, tennis shoes, sweatbands. It's a deliberate act, right? It's I took time out of my day to get dressed to go. Doesn't have to be that way. If you're shopping, park out in the parking lot a little ways. Most everyone has a smartphone, all right, or a smartwatch. You can set apps, programs on your phone to track your steps, track your distance, track your times. You will be surprised at how far you walk. If you're in a hot climate like us, sometimes mornings, unless it's really, really early, like 6 or 7, the best time to walk is later in the afternoon. 7, 7:30, right at dusk, right as the sun is going down. But the other tip I would add would just be park away, find different ways that you could add steps in your day. Yeah. But you're not the only one in that boat.